I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Captain America Steve Rogers issue number 12. Now that Taskmaster has the smoking gun for Captain America, what will that mean for Steve's new position as head of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Oh wow, so 2 brand new Captain America comics in 2 weeks. They are really getting us primed for Secret Empire, aren't they? Now, while every other issue in this series so far has opened up with a flashback, this one does things a little different by instead treating us to some war serial footage. It's actually kind of a nice way for writer Nick Spencer to kind of reevaluate everything that's been going on in the story so far by looking at what's happened already in Captain America's history. Another thing this comic really tries to hit home is the difference between the original Hydra, their original goals and ideals that Steve Rogers still feels very loyal to this day, and the so-called new Hydra, which came about because of the involvement of people like the Red Skull and Hitler. Furthermore, this issue tries to hammer out the logistics of how Captain America was able to fight for the Allies while also secretly funneling information to his handler Helmut Zemo. It admittedly doesn't make 100% sense, but then again, it doesn't have to because it technically didn't happen. Speaking of Zemo, and I absolutely was, this issue sees him getting brought into the fold by Steve and as such having to work with Dr. Selvig. There's still a lot of bad blood between these two if you remember the events of Pleasant Hill. Zemo beat and then kidnapped Selvig over the whole Kobik thing. Selvig also wonders aloud what I myself wondered in the last issue, and that is, hey, why is Zemo so willing to help Cap out now? In fact, he even begins to question Kobik, thinking that maybe she used her powers to make him more malleable to Cap's message. Needless to say, everyone's going to be keeping their eye on Zemo in the near future, as he is definitely a wild card right now. From there, we transition on over to the supervillain rogue nation of Bagalia, where ex-head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and now fugitive from the law Maria Hill has come to meet with Taskmaster. Him and Black Ant want to sell Hill the black box from the very first issue of Captain America Steve Rogers, wherein you can clearly see him murder Jack Flag and then pledge allegiance to Hydra. Geez, you know, Taskmaster and Ant might be greedy, Maria Hill might be selfish, self-serving, and occasionally very dangerous, but if they just work together on this one, they could basically stop the whole Secret Empire from happening. But unfortunately, they are all those things I just mentioned, and because of that, they set up a meet for later that night. Now, over with head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Captain America, he gets called away from his super spy job to go do some regular old superheroing. Yeah, it would seem even when you're the boss of bosses as well as an undercover sleeper agent chess master, you still gotta go fight regular old crime. In this case, it's an old 60s villain, the Awesome Android, who in a nice bit of visual storytelling is wrecking a history museum which just so happens to house a bunch of Captain America's old costumes that get thrown to the ground in the battle. Now, hey, here's a fun bit of writing for you. If ever a character says, hey, I have an important piece of information, meet me here later, they will never meet that person later because they will always get stopped up. You see, Taskmaster and Black Ant never actually get to their meeting with Maria Hill because they get stopped up by a group calling themselves the Real Hydra. In fact, these guys are wearing the classic green and yellow, a uniform that Skull's Hydra agents haven't worn for a little bit now. They are led by a brand new Madam Hydra, only she's not new at all. In fact, she's quite familiar. It's Eliza St. Clair, aka the woman that we've been seeing in Steve's flashbacks, the one that recruited him and his mother into Hydra and the Thule Society in the first place. But that's impossible, right? She never existed. She was just a construct of Kobik, unless Kobik is so powerful that when she changed history, she actually created a brand new person out of nothing. And that is pretty much where the comic ends. Captain America number 12 was an enjoyable issue, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel like one giant info dump. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's clear that this is getting us primed for Secret Empire, adding a lot of new questions and a lot of new wrenches into this scheme. I did enjoy getting to see Taskmaster and Black Ant take center stage. Nick Spencer also clearly knows his continuity by bringing up the fact that, hey, weren't you guys both agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point? I'm also digging the whole ideological struggle between Hydra, where it started and where it is now. Mind-manipulated Cap actually, wants to bring the good of Hydra back to the forefront and not the evil Nazi death cult that the whole thing has become. Then again, one would have to wonder maybe after something has become a Nazi death cult, it's not exactly worth saving anymore. Overall, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. Pretty good, definitely necessary reading if you're following the story and going to be following Secret Empire, but this book is done a lot better.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.